teacher, author, coach. Those are some of the titles Marc Skelton has worn over the last few decades. But this summer, in the Master Division of the Maccabi games in Israel, he will go back to what made him fall in love with basketball, playing the game. Marc began playing basketball at 5 years old in his hometown in New England. He quickly took a liking to it and played throughout high school, winning a state championship and earning all-state honors. But his playing career didn't go beyond the high school level.
I think my NBA dreams were, the illusions of making the NBA were washed away pretty quickly. I played AAU 1 year and we went down to Wake Forest. And the opening night, the tip-off, I just saw some guy who looked about 6'10", tip it to another guy, and he just threw it half court for an alley-oop. It was Rasheed Wallace to Jeff McGinnis to Jerry Stackhouse. And at the moment I didn't know who they were, but at that moment I knew that my basketball career was probably going to end when I graduated high school.
In Marc's early 20s, after graduating from college, he spent time on a kibbutz in Israel, and then later joined the Peace Corps in the Republic of Mondor. Eventually, Marc returned back to the United States and began pursuing teaching in New York. It was there, at Fannie Lou Hamer High School, where he got involved with basketball again.
New York City's basketball history is so rich. I volunteered a little bit, but it wasn't until like 3 years later I became the head coach at Fannie Lou Hamer High School.
Marc quickly became a decorated coach. Taking over a winless team, Marc has gone on to win multiple league and state championships while having a positive impact on kids' lives and helping them achieve on the court and in the classroom. Busy with coaching, teaching, and parenting, Marc hadn't played competitive basketball since 2009. But in April of 2021, Marc was online when he saw a posting for the 2022 Maccabi game.
So then I saw this thing called 45 Plus Masters, and I started laughing. I was like, what is this? This can't be true.
Marc originally tried to get on a coaching staff for the games, but all the positions were filled. He was determined to get to Israel one way or another, so he made it his mission to make it as a player for the team.
I went up to the local courts and just started shooting and dribbling and trying to get my rhythm back, and it took a long time. I really was away from the game for a while, and then and someone stole my shot. And so it took me a long time to rediscover where it was. So it was people say they were in the laboratory. I was totally in the lab.
Eventually, Marc found his shot, but the rigorous training he was doing started to take its toll.
So Sam, I was 47 years old. After every game workout, the knees would flare up, my back would stiffen up. Calf injury, just you name it. It was a true struggle physically, but the mental part I didn't have a problem with, because I was like, oh, I'm going to try out. I'm going to be ready by October.
When October came around, Marc was ready to go. He made an impression at the tryout by picking up full court and playing tenacious defense. It was enough to earn him a spot to Israel, where his basketball journey will come full circle. Back when Marc was on a kibbutz in Israel, he was approached to try out for a professional basketball team after someone noticed him playing. But his flight was the next day and he never made it to the tryout.
So there was this moment, it was like, well, I could have played in Israel or in college, but why not give it a shot now and see if I still can compete? And I think that was the driving force. It's this great life circle, right? But it is this story of, rejuvenation, the story of kind of just getting back on the court, but also having it be in Israel, I think, is even more special.